Welcome back to the coin world. Old coin review and value, the ultimate destination for rare coin discoveries, numismatic treasures, and the hidden value in your pocket change. Here's a full video script for the Liberty Wheat Penny 1927, written in a way that hooks viewers, gives a rich history, integrates SEO-style storytelling, and follows your exact instructions. Have you ever held a coin so old that it feels like a silent witness to history? A piece of metal that has traveled through generations carrying stories of the past in every scratch and shine. The Liberty Wheat Penny from 1927 is exactly that kind of coin. At first glance it might seem like just a small copper piece, but when you understand its history and what it's worth today, you'll realize it might just turn the tables for you. So stick around until the very end, because I'll tell you not only its value according to eBay and auctions, but also how you can sell it yourself. The year 1927 places us in the heart of the Roaring Twenties, an era marked by jazz economic boom and significant cultural change in America. The Wheat Penny from this year was part of the Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909 and replaced the Indian head cent, designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse carried the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the nation's beloved 16th president, while the reverse carried two wheat stalks symbolizing prosperity and the agricultural roots of the United States. What makes the 1927 Wheat Penny fascinating is not just its design, but the story of its time. America in 1927 was full of optimism. Just 2 years before the Great Depression struck, every cent mattered, and the Lincoln penny was a constant companion in people's lives, used for daily purchases, wages, and even tucked away in piggy banks by hopeful families. This coin was struck in 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while Denver coins bear a small D, and San Francisco coins carry an S under the date. Each of these varieties plays a big role in its current value. The San Francisco coins are scarcer, while Philadelphia had the highest mintage. The 1927 Wheat Penny was composed mostly of copper with a small amount of tin and zinc, giving it the distinct reddish-brown or chocolate brown toning that collectors love. Over time, these pennies develop unique patinas, making each surviving piece one of a kind. Collectors especially value coins in higher grades with sharp details on Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks on the reverse. A well-preserved coin can be worth far more than its face value. This is where online platforms like eBay and numismatic auction houses come into play. On these platforms, prices can vary widely depending on condition, mint mark, and rarity. The 1927 penny is particularly desirable to collectors due to its lower mintage. Coins from San Francisco in top condition can command significant premiums, making them highly sought after. Even a moderately circulated 1927 can be more valuable than a typical Philadelphia issue. When browsing listings on eBay, you'll often see this coin selling in different grades, from well-worn examples to carefully graded and slabbed ones, certified by companies like PCGS or NGC. These certified coins tend to attract higher prices because collectors have confidence in their authenticity and grade. The story doesn't end with its value. The 1927 Wheat Penny also represents resilience. It survived nearly a century of circulation, pocket to pocket, store to store, long before credit cards and digital transactions ruled the day. Holding one today connects you directly to people who lived nearly 100 years ago. Now here's where it gets interesting. If you happen to own one of these coins, it could potentially be a hidden treasure in your collection, especially if it's a Denver or San Francisco mint in strong condition. Coins that look ordinary to the untrained might actually be worth far more than you imagine. So if you have a jar of old pennies at home, don't dismiss them as worthless. That 1927 Wheat Penny you're holding might be the key to adding unexpected value to your pocket. The coin world is full of stories where everyday people found out their old pennies were worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The beauty of the 1927 Wheat Penny is that it appeals to both seasoned collectors and beginners. It's old enough to be historic, yet still affordable enough for many people to own. That balance makes it a cornerstone in wheat penny collections. And let's not forget the emotional value. Some families pass these coins down as heirlooms, tying generations together. What once was pocket change for a grandparent in the 1920s might now be a prized collectible in the hands of their grandchildren. When we talk about how to sell these coins, online marketplaces like eBay, Etsy, or specialized numismatic auction sites are the most popular. They give access to a wide pool of collectors, driving up the potential price. But before selling, it's always wise to get your coin appraised or graded to maximize its value. So, to bring it all together, the Liberty Wheat Penny of 1927 is more than just copper. Its history, its culture, its art, and its potentially a small fortune waiting in your pocket. And as I mentioned in the beginning, if you own this coin, it really might turn the tables for you. Now here's the deal. At this point in the video, you're probably wondering exactly how much your 1927 wheat penny is worth right now and the best way to sell it. And that's where I want you to join in. Comment the word price in the comment box below, and I'll personally tell you its value according to today's market and guide you through the process of selling it step by step. Imagine holding a simple 5-cent coin from 1971 in your hand and realizing that this tiny piece of metal could potentially change your financial situation. Most people pass over these coins without a second thought. But what if I told you that certain versions of the 1971 Liberty nickel have been fetching surprising prices across online marketplaces like eBay, heritage auctions, and private collectors networks? After the intro, I mentioned that if you own one of these coins, it might just turn the tables for you. So make sure you stick around until the end of the video, because that's where I'll reveal how much this coin can really be worth and how you can go about selling it. The 1971 Liberty nickel, often simply referred to as the Jefferson nickel of that year, may not appear extraordinary at first glance. Millions were minted, and they circulated heavily in the United States throughout the 70s and beyond. However, collectors know that the real value of any coin lies not in how many were made, but in the condition, the rarity of certain mint marks, and the unique errors that sometimes occur during production. For example, coins struck in San Francisco with the S mint mark, or those with double die errors and full step details on Monticello are the ones that truly stand out among collectors. Over the years, coins from 1971 have found their way into eBay listings with prices ranging from just a few dollars to several hundred, depending on the grade and certification. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have given high-grade 1971 nickels top-tier recognition, with some even climbing in value at auctions. Collectors especially look for nickels with sharp details on Monticello steps, a feature that becomes a major price driver. Beyond eBay, other online platforms and auction houses have shown similar results. Heritage Auctions, for instance, has recorded sales where pristine examples of the 1971 nickel commanded far more than expected. The reason is clear: serious numismatists are always on the lookout for rare die varieties, unusual minting errors, and uncirculated coins with original luster. It's also important to mention that international buyers often contribute to these sales. While a 1971 nickel may not seem too special in the US, collectors abroad sometimes pay a premium to add it to their world coin collections. This global demand adds yet another layer of value to what seems like an ordinary piece of change. So if you have a Liberty 5-cent 1971 coin, don't dismiss it as just another nickel. Its true worth could surprise you, especially if yours happens to be in mint state or has an error that others are eager to add to their collection. Remember, the condition, the grading, and the mint mark can make all the difference in turning a simple 5-cent piece into a collector's treasure. Wheat penny with SEO-rich storytelling, auction insights, and a hook that keeps viewers engaged until the end. It avoids headings, lists, or visual cues, and flows naturally for narration. Today we are diving into the fascinating and mysterious journey of the 1932 Liberty wheat penny. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary old cent, but hidden beneath its worn copper surface lies a history that is nothing short of extraordinary. This coin has been known to surprise collectors and investors alike, and if you happen to own one, it might just turn the tables for you. Stick around until the end of the video, because I will share how much it is worth today according to eBay listings, other online platforms, and even rare coin auctions, along with how you can sell them for the best return. But remember, I want you to comment the price in the comment box, and I will tell you not only its value but also the step-by-step process to sell it. The story of the 1932 Liberty wheat penny begins during a pivotal time in American history. The country was in the middle of the Great Depression, an economic crisis that had swept through every town and city in the United States. Families struggled to make ends meet, jobs were scarce, and even the smallest coin in your pocket held real power. A single penny could mean a loaf of bread or a ride on the streetcar. So when the 1932 wheat penny was struck, it carried with it not only copper and design but also the weight of survival and hope. The design of the coin itself speaks to America's ideals. On the obverse, we find the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of strength and leadership during times of national hardship. This design had been first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth, and by 1932 it had already become a familiar emblem of resilience. Around Lincoln's portrait are the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1932. Each of these inscriptions carried meaning during an era when trust, liberty, and faith were tested daily by the realities of the Depression. On the reverse of the coin lies the iconic wheat years framing the words 1 cent, United States of America, and E pluribus unum. These simple wheat stalks became the symbol of productivity, agriculture, and the backbone of America. It was a design that resonated with a country still deeply tied to the land and its harvests. The wheat cent was a coin that visually connected the labor of farmers with the pockets of workers in the city, a link between field and factory, survival and sacrifice. What makes the 1932 wheat penny even more interesting is its rarity. During this year, coin production at the mints was drastically reduced due to the economic collapse. Demand for new coins was low because money wasn't moving as fast. People were saving every cent they had, and the government chose to strike fewer coins. Fascinating story of the Liberty 5-cent coin from 1984. Now let me tell you this right at the start. If you own this coin, it might just turn the tables for you. So stick around until the end, because I will reveal its real worth according to eBay, auction houses, and other online platforms, and more importantly, how you can sell it. But at the very end, instead of giving away every detail here, I will ask you to comment price in the comment box, and I will personally guide you with the latest value and the exact selling procedure. The Liberty 5-cent coin, more commonly known as the Jefferson nickel in 1984, has a history rooted in American tradition and post-war identity. Introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, it featured the image of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. This design carried on for decades, becoming one of the most recognizable coins in circulation. By 1984, the Jefferson nickel had already been a familiar sight for nearly half a century, making it not only a circulating coin but also a piece of cultural continuity. Designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, the obverse features the iconic portrait of Jefferson. The reverse shows Monticello, his Virginia estate, a structure that represents Jefferson's vision of architecture, learning, and personal legacy. In 1984, the design was unchanged, but the condition and mending details of the coin gave it unique collectible appeal. The 1984 Jefferson nickel was struck at multiple mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark. Denver coins are marked with a D, and San Francisco produced proof issues with the S mint mark. While most of these nickels were produced in massive numbers for circulation, the proof strikes from San Francisco, with their mirror-like surfaces, are especially valued among collectors. What makes the 1984 nickel particularly interesting are the errors and varieties that emerged during its production. Collectors pay close attention to double die obverses, repunched mint marks, and even off-center strikes. These errors, though unintended by the U.S. Mint, add significant value to coins that otherwise would be worth only face value. The historical importance of the Jefferson nickel series cannot be overstated. It represents stability during an era of change in American coinage. By 1984, other denominations like the penny had already undergone shifts in composition, moving from copper to copper-plated zinc.